Hello, scale modelers. Alrighty, so I told you I was going to end up making a little video about the scale hardware that, well, that's not part of that. It just happens to be in the bag. The scale hardware that I am going to try to use for my DeLorean. And you would not believe the sizes of some of this stuff. They are really, really tiny. Alright, don't mind me, I am just trying to separate the bolts and nuts and even some washers . Okay. Alright. Which, yeah. It's 1.2. That should be right there. And then right there. Okay. So, gonna have to zoom in. Alright, so this is a 2mm scale bolt, and this is a 15 millimeters long, so this is the biggest one that I have. And you can tell by my hand right here the size of this. If you're wondering what the S stands for, this little bolt actually happens to be made out of stainless. So, very, very cool. Many uses for this, and some of the smaller ones, I don't know what kinds of uses I'll get out of those. But I got them just in case. And here's a 1.2. So, get that out. So you can see how small it is. And it is a hex head. So it is a real bolt. And this one, I believe, is a nickel. There's pretty much like three main things that this company makes these out of. Is brass, nickel plated brass, brass itself, and you can get them in stainless. And as I keep going, these just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And this is a 1mm. I mean, just look at this. Look how tiny that is, and still with a bolt hex head. All right. And this is a 0.8mm. Let's see if my tweezers can even pick this up. I mean, just wait till we get to the 0.5mm. Got one. Okay. Look at that. Just look at it. This thing is so flippin' tiny. See, now something like this would be good for, you know, probably like simulation for like an engine bolt or something. But look at that. And it does have threads. You probably can't see it, but this does have threads on it. See? Alright. Okay. And now let's take a look at the .6. Look at that one. This one might be just a tad bit longer than the .8. But, yeah. Look at that. These all still have the hex heads on them. Still has threading too. But, I mean, look how small. It's my finger. Look how small that is. Alright, now we come to the .5 millimeter, which is the tiniest that I happen to have. I'm not sure if they have anything smaller. It's possible that they do. I mean, they could probably go down to like a .4 or .3 millimeter in reality. But I mean, look at how tiny this thing is. It still has threading on it. I mean, it's only a tad bit smaller than the .6 millimeter, but I mean, look at that. Thing is small. Alright, and these all come in bags of 20. So, you know, you're basically gonna pay anywhere from like 8 to 10 bucks, or even maybe up to like 12 bucks, possibly, per bag of 20 of these. Which, you know, I mean, that's a really good deal for something like this. Alright. Alright, there's 2 millimeter nuts. Even the nuts come in bags of 20. Alright, these are 1 millimeter nuts. And the ones I happen to get are the low profile ones. That way they actually keep in scale with the vehicle. Because, I mean, if you got the thicker ones, they wouldn't look right. That's a 1.2. This is a .6. Which, yeah, the rest of them are right up there towards the top of the baggie. But that's the .6. Really, really tiny. Here's the .8. So those are just a little bit bigger. And here's 1.4s. And like I said, these are all low profile, so they're thinner than what you can normally get on there. And then I did get a couple different sizes of washers. So here's a 1.4 washer. Here's a 1.2. And here's a 1.0. So, pretty freaking cool. They do sell other things on there. You can get miniature taps and dies on there. You can get threaded rods, because I know on the DeLorean there, the suspension. Where's they showing the suspension here? No, I don't think they are showing the suspension on there. Okay, but anyway, one of the, I don't remember if it's the front or rear suspension. I got the 15 millimeter bolts right here, because this is the only one they actually had in 15 millimeter. But the only thing is that rear suspension, to replace the screw that goes through that on that part, it's still not long enough. So they do sell threaded rods, and you know, if you can get one of your little nuts, one of your scale size nuts, and put it on the one end, and you know, you sand it or file it down, and if you're going to paint them, then you can cover up the fact that it was in there. But I would suggest, you know, possibly, you know, like gluing the one side in first, and then you can trim that threaded rod down to where you need it, so that way it looks like the bolt is sticking out, and then you can put the other nut on the other side. So I mean, it'll work. It definitely work. I'm trying to figure out how to do stuff for my DeLorean right now with, you know, at least some of this. And these are obviously ties. These are metal ties. These can be used for like the water pipes, and even, you know, the rubber boots for the steering rack. But this is the company Model Motor Cars Limited. You could always Google Scale Hardware. It should bring you right up to the site. You can choose to go inside and check out the Scale Hardware, because they got other stuff. They got simulated rivets on there in multiple different sizes. They got, you know, like small screws that you can choose to, you know, get in there. So I mean, they got tons of stuff. Little acorn nuts, just tons of stuff for model hobbying. I don't know if their doors are closed. I mean, you could probably still put an order in, and hopefully they can still ship it out to you. And of course, if you happen to be overseas, might be a little bit higher in price there. But hold on, let me. Okay, I'm gonna take out my X-Wing little box of tricks here, just so you can, or maybe I should actually take out the R2 one. That might be better, because I have multiple different kinds of screws in there that I can compare. And that's just because I don't have where was I? Oh, because I don't have the DeLorean stuff up here. I've been working on that downstairs because I needed all the space as possible, and I can't get comfortable, you know, doing my mod stuff. You know, sitting in a chair like this. Okay, so I mean, you can see that's kind of the same size as that. And then but I mean you can definitely see. And then I mean, just look at the difference in the nut, because this is the one that comes with the R2 right there, and then you can see the size difference there. Alrighty. So yeah, go check out that company if you're interested in scale hardware like this. Check out everything else that they have to offer. Fortunately, it looks like I'm running out of space on my SD card. So until the next video, thanks for watching Brian's Builds.